Good evening, everyone. This is the 304 podcast here on YouTube and also on Facebook through the 304 Athletics. If you haven't already, guys, please hit that subscribe button, like us, share us. You better like us because we're freaking cool. Get our name out there because we need it, especially on YouTube. We need you over on YouTube. But thank you. Welcome again, 304 Nation, to this podcast. 304 brought to you by 304 Athletics, the new sports authority. So, Sammy, hey, it's a beautiful evening. It's kind of cold, so I mean it's still beautiful.
Yeah, I mean we're gonna get some snow overnight, so that's exciting.
It was beautiful. It's crap.
Yeah, weather it's crap.
Yeah, really. You been okay today?
Not bad. Not bad for a Monday. You know how that goes. Been looking forward to this all day long.
Yes, this guest coming in today is a very special guest for us. And, I can't wait to get to it. So let's get to it.
Guys. Yeah, guys. Thanks for popping in. Guys, we want to welcome in tonight a fighter. He's got professional experience in MMA, Muay Thai, bare knuckle boxing, and boxing. He trains out of Round 30 MMA out of Roanoke and Powerhouse Boxing Gym. He's a 7-time champion as an amateur over 3 different weight classes. He recently had the opportunity to fight Chad Ochocinco Johnson in an undercard match on a 4-round exhibition on Showtime PPV. It's the one that was featuring Floyd Mayweather and Jake Paul. So it was a big opportunity there. And this match, if you haven't watched it, Brian fought well, knocked Chad down in the 4th. I would have liked to have seen that fight go about 4 more because it seemed like Brian was finding his way around in the 4th round. I'd have liked to have seen it go a little further. But guys, welcome in to the 304 podcast, Mr. Brian Maxwell.
Yeah.
Let's get him in here. All right. What's up, buddy?
Well, did we lost his audio? We lost your audio.
Here we go.
Oh, there we go.
All right.
Yeah, man. Y'all got my Twitter going crazy right now.
Good.
Love it.
Welcome in, man. We appreciate you taking the time to come on 304 and talk to us about past, present, and future exploits, man.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having me as always.
Oh, thank you.
I'm happy to be here, man. It's good to finally connect with a podcast that in a state that I have roots in good old by God, West Virginia.
That's right.
Hey, that's what we're here for, man. We want to get this local talent. Roanoke's not that far away. It's local. We want to get that local talent out, get as much exposure as we can. Guys, if you have comments, leave them in. We'll get to them. Questions or comments, we'll get to them as we go through the podcast. Be sure to share this, guys. Share. Well, we'll just dive right in.
Share, and comment, peoples.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, don't be shy.
Well, first of all, you're into MMA. Your skill set's pretty vast. MMA, but bare knuckle fighting and boxing and all that. What got you into the fight game?
I mean, basically, I've wrestled all my life since I was basically 13 years old. I had to sneak and start wrestling. I had been around it my whole life, but my mom just wouldn't let me wrestle. So I finally had to, quit going to basketball tryouts and sneak into wrestling tryouts. And, it was up and up from there. So, combat sports is my, let me see, my forte is my God's plan. Let's just say that because, I liked basketball and stuff like that. But, me as a kid, I was more into doing rough shit. You feel what I'm saying? So, and contact sports was one of those things. So when I hit the ground running, I hit the ground running. I started playing football and doing wrestling in the same year. So that was my it factor. You feel what I'm saying? And wrestling got me all the way to my roots up there with you guys in West Virginia. So that in its own is pretty badass because that's when I first in West Virginia is when I first really started learning about the game of fighting because all my college roommates they were watching the UFC and stuff like that. I had never watched the UFC before that point, and that was back in 2007. So I wasn't watching UFC stuff. I was more worried to being into drinking and going to frat parties in college and going to wrestling practice at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning.
True.
But I really wasn't into it then. But we chilling one Friday night after doing what we were doing and had wrestling practice and stuff like that. And one of my roommates was like, "Man, I'm turning on the UFC fights." And like I said, I didn't know what the UFC fights were, and I guess we ended up turning it on too late because the main event happened to be Anderson Silva versus, hold on, who was it? Not Forrest Griffin. It was somebody of that nature. And I was like, from then on to that point, I was like, man, Anderson Silva's gonna be my favorite fighter. So I went with that, and after that, I was hooked on to watching UFC. Like I even started looking at it on YouTube way back when in 2007, and really seeing how popular it was. And I was like, oh shit, I think I might want to do this one day. But I didn't do it while I was still in school. But after school, I hit the ground running, dabbled in life a little bit, and then I got an opportunity to do it. So I was like, I got to do something with myself, and this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, and talk about fighting, like your preparation for a fight. How much of that is working on your skills, and how much is actually preparing for your opponent?
I mean, when I first started fighting, I'm a wrestler, so I didn't care how anybody looked. I didn't study people. I just thought, I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to make them, fight to my ability. You feel what I'm saying? And that's what I did. My first 5 fights as an amateur, and I learned very quickly. You can't do that just based on your skills. You feel what I'm saying? So, I had been training, but I wasn't training. You feel what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm a wrestler. So, I was going to go into every fight, going to use my wrestling and beat somebody up on the ground. And like I said, I found that out very quickly that that's not what you can do in MMA. And so, after that, I got with this guy that I met at the gym. I met him at this spot and we started doing boxing, and I started learning jujitsu because my very first MMA fight, I ended up winning it, knocking the guy out in 25 seconds. And then 3 weeks later, I ended up fighting again, and I caught the flu. And I'm the type of person, I'm not just going to back out of anything or not, show up and do what I'm obligated to do. So I went and fought with the flu, and I ended up losing that fight. And then literally 2 weeks after that fight, I ended up fighting again. And, I took a guy down, was beating him up, ground and pounding him, and he used his jujitsu on me. I was still new to learning jujitsu, and he hit me in a rear naked choke. I had never been choked a day in my life. And I was like, oh man, I got to do something about this. I got to learn why I just got choked and not to get choked again. You feel what I'm saying? But, after that, that's when my streak started happening. I got in good. I started training more. I started taking it a little bit more seriously, and basically here we are.
Yeah, but Sammy and I quickly recognized that the rear naked choke is a very popular move to go to. We saw that at TOC 31. Shout out to Kimberly Ring and the great promotion she has there. But yeah, it's like we're hoping that everybody who was like 4 or 5 submissions due to that move. Let's just hope they did what you did. Go back, study, and how to defend against the rear naked choke, because a lot of it gets used.
Yeah, it does, man. And when I got hit with that, like I didn't know whether to go out on my shield and pass out or to tap. You feel what I'm saying? When I got put in it for the first time, so I tapped because like I said, I didn't know what it was. So after that, man, I was like, man, I got to figure out why I just got choked after I was beating the shit out of this guy.
Yeah, that when we went to the Titans of the Cage, man, the first couple fights you had 2 rear naked chokes and a guillotine choke,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what we were talking about. Like, man, it's like those guys are going to go home and they're gonna watch their fight. They're gonna be like, okay, we got to learn how to defend against that.
Yeah, for sure. But big shout out to Kim and Greg Ring. I was their first 185 champion, and they stuck with me a little bit during my amateur career. They gave me a shot, and I fought for them 3 times. So big shout out to them.
Yeah.
Well, we talked a little bit about this before we came on the air, but what's next for you? What direction are you headed in? What fights? What do you have coming up?
What I got coming up, I have a bare knuckle fight next weekend in Billings, not Billings, but Great Falls, Montana. So, I haven't really been able to drop that. And plus, I've been so focused and deep into this fight camp, man. Like this fight camp, I'm going to go ahead and say it. This fight camp has been different for me. It's been dangerous. I've been in a different zone this fight camp because I haven't been able to fight. I haven't fought with emotion in a very long time, and I'm very fueled right now with a lot of anger and frustration, and like I said, I haven't been able to fight. I'm not gonna say I haven't been able to. I haven't fought with emotion in a very long time, and plus, man, like I feel stronger than I have in a long time, and like I said, the emotion that I feel right now, this month of April is a super hard emotional month for me because I had a brother pass away in this same month a couple of years ago, and his birthday was actually a couple of days ago, and then literally next week is the day that he died, and then literally fight day, the day after fight day is the day that we buried him. So I've been emotional this whole fight camp, like
Sure.
like it's different, and I felt like since I've been so emotional and more focused just for that alone, like my skill set has actually I'm peaking right now. You feel what I'm saying? And guys that usually give me trouble in my fight camps and at the gyms I travel to, or the different places or different guys that come in to train with me, like it's been different. Like I told my coach Friday, I'm feeling dangerous right now, like.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a wonderful feeling. Like I can't, like if I had to fight this weekend, I'd be ready. Even if I had to fight in 20 minutes from now, like I'm ready for it. I want all the smoke that's coming. I usually don't talk shit like when it comes to fights and stuff. I usually, stay in my zone and be humble about it. But not this time. Like I said, I'm feeling dangerous and something is different. Like I told one of the BKFC guys that I was texting the other day about some fight stuff. Man, this new skill set and this new me is going to be different. Y'all are going to be talking about this even after the fight.
Well, it's always important, like when you're getting ready for something, and like that. And a lot of people don't understand, like from your wrestling background, and I know you know what I'm talking about. Coming from a powerlifting background, you train to get stronger, you train to get better, and you hope that the moment of competition is when you hit that pinnacle. And it sounds to me like mentally and physically you're there.
Yeah, man, I'm definitely there, man. My weight is on track. I don't got that much pounds to cut left, and I'm actually ahead of schedule on my weight cut. I was actually ahead of 2 weeks early on where I needed to be just because of how I changed my diet this go round and how much work I've been putting in. So, I'm happy with my results, and we're still 2 weeks out, so I still got some more work to put in, and the end result, it's going to be great. I'm going to finally get that thing that's been elusive to me for the past 2 years with bare knuckle and getting that win. So, it's going to be awesome, man. And I can't wait to have that feeling. It's one of my goals for this year because, at the beginning of this year, I told myself, and I put it out on all my social medias that, I was going to be the BKFC comeback fighter of the year. And that's my plan.
Well, I think that's definitely, it sounds to me like mentally you're prepared. That's something that we talk a lot about on 304, with 304 Athletics, 304 podcast, is part of what our mission is to help some of these youngsters learn what kind of mentality it takes to take that next step, like whether it be playing college level or going professional, like what does that mentality take? So I think you've touched on that well.
Yeah, man, like the mentality doesn't have to be like super high, but it needs to be moderate enough to where you're still humble, but not making yourself not humble enough to be up here. The end goal is to be up here, of course, but you got to also remain right here too and never forget where you came from and how you got there too. You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's my whole ordeal. Of course, I'm a wrestler, so I'm cocky. I'm super arrogant, and my confidence is through the fucking roof, like at all times. But also, this fight game is mental, especially doing also the mixed martial arts of the game that I do, like BK, bare knuckle, boxing, MMA, Muay Thai, like, and even jujitsu stuff, like even grappling tournaments, man. I does it all, like when I set out to, like I'm telling you, when I got rear naked choked, my goal was to learn everything why I got choked and learn everything else that involved mixed martial arts, and that helped me be successful as an amateur. And my pro career is all right, but like I said, I'm still kind of early in my pro career, so I'm still doing my thing and getting better each and every day that I'm in the gym and with the guys that I train with and are around. You feel what I'm saying? I've had some ups and downs, just like anybody else, any other human, but my mental is still with this. I'm going to do this until the wheels fall off. So
Yeah.
you might beat me, but you're not going to break me.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter what sport you're in. We all get rear naked choke sometimes, which forces us to have to re-examine everything, bring us back down to earth, and to be better.
Yes, sir. Always. Even everything is a lesson, whether win or lose. If you win, there's a lesson learned. If you lose, there's a lesson learned. And even if it's a draw, there's a lesson learned in everything. Like even while training every day, there's lessons into your training. And I tell people always, sometimes it goes in one ear and out the other, but you got to be an open book. You feel what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So
For sure. Let's change gears a little bit. Let's talk about the pay-per-view with Chad Johnson, because I know that was a big opportunity. When you were approached with that fight, what was the first thoughts that went through your head?
I mean, man, it was weird. It was weird, and it was different because how everything came together. Me and my coach was actually me and my striking coach was actually talking about this past Friday when I was down there training. You got to take an opportunity to get an opportunity, and sometimes when you take that lesser opportunity, that bigger opportunity awaits you, no matter the outcome of that other opportunity. So right before that fight, I was doing my normal training, and of course I went to BKFC tryouts to help out, and then I went to a BKFC show. But before all that, in between all that, I had a boxing fight in Miami, my first pro boxing, my first professional boxing match down there in Miami. And they hit me up on 2 weeks notice, and me usually I don't take fights like that on short notice, but me, I'm training every day. All I needed to do was, cut the weight. So, I had to cut 16 pounds in 2 weeks to do it. And I was like I said, I wasn't going to take it at first because it was so short notice. But I'm like, hey, what's the worst that can happen? It's my professional boxing debut. I don't have a boxing background, so let's do it. And it was, of course, it was against a hometown guy, and super super big name down there in Florida on the amateur scene. And it's a guy that they're trying to build up. And with my experience, it was a good first round and decent second round. And then I'm going to say it, some bullshit happened with the referee, and we felt like it was a bullshit call because of home cooking, but whatever. So I went on about my business and, got back in the gym that Monday. So like I said, with this Chad fight, it was mad weird because, BKFC had a show coming up, and, I thought I was going to be on that fight card down there in Birmingham, Alabama. So, I was preparing for that, and my opponent dropped out. So I was like, fuck, I ain't going to get the fight. So I'm still going to go to the show and support and do some networking and all that, and talk to some guys with some podcasts and, enjoy the fans and stuff. And on the way there, Chad hits my inbox on Instagram, and I'm like, man, is Chad Johnson is this the real Chad Johnson messaging me? Like, it had me skeptical because, on Instagram you get like bots or fake profiles sending you messages, and you just look at them like, oh man, get the fuck out of here with that shit. And
right.
I even asked him, I was like, is this the real Chad Johnson? Because I follow this page. It's got a couple million, followers. So I'm like, I think somebody hacked this page. And, he hit me back with yeah, this is the real Chad Johnson. I wouldn't do you like that. And I was like, I don't know about that. And, I kind of blew it off. But I got down there to Alabama to the event, and I got another phone call from a matchmaker, and I was like, I got something coming up, but if it's an opportunity there, talk to this person, and that person, maybe we can work it out. And then the matchmaker was like, all right, I'll call you back. So I'm thinking, man, what the hell is going on, man? This is too weird for me right now. And I went on about my night at the fights, talking to fans, taking pictures with fans, and enjoying the fights, and talking to my fellow BKFC family there. And next day I'm on the way home, Chad hits me up again. I'm like, oh man, I swear his page is hacked, because he's like, call me, and he sent me his number. So I'm like, oh man, I'm skeptical on calling him. So I waited and waited, and then that Monday, my active friendly manager, came to me and was like, yeah, you need to call this person and this person. You got a big opportunity. I was like, man, is that why Chad was messaging me, and the other matchmaker called me and stuff like that? So I called who I had to call, and boom, it was right there in my face. You want to fight Chad Ochocinco Johnson? And I'm like, don't I got a fight coming up? Is this gonna hurt it? And I wasn't gonna take the fight at first, because I thought it was gonna hurt me being able to do my other fight. So I wasn't really with it. And then we talked and talked and talked for a certain amount of time, and they let me know that as long as I don't get cut and bleeding all over the place, that my other fight was still good. So I was like, yep, I accept. This is a guy I've looked up to, basically one of the reasons why I started playing football, because I watched this man play football, same jersey number and all, in middle school, but I changed it when I got to high school because somebody took that number before me, and I couldn't get the number, so I was kind of pissed. But it's a man that I watched like until the day he retired. So I'm like, man, it's an opportunity. So boom, it happened. And everything that came when that fight got announced to the world was ridiculous. I think I still got messages that I still haven't read from that fight. Like,
Really?
It's ridiculous. Like, once that fight came out, man, like, I was the number one. I never expected it. Like, nobody was talking about the Mayweather versus Paul fight. Everybody's talking about me versus Chad fight. And apparently I was the number one trending topic on Facebook, Google search, Twitter. I had 100+ messages on Instagram that, people tagging me in their stories about the fight. And, every every podcast that was like top notch was like mentioning my name, radio shows and everything, man. That like it's still like
Surreal.
it's still surreal. I think about it like all the time, and like I said, it's a blessing. And like I said before, you got to take one opportunity to get another opportunity, and that's what I always have lived for. I'm an opportunist. Just even when I was in high school, my thing was I was going to take an opportunity to go to the military, but the opportunity that I was taking to go to the military brought me an opportunity to go to college to wrestle. So that's what I've always been on.
I think that's our problem, Sammy. Every half the people I've messaged on Instagram, I think they think we're bots. That's probably our problem, man.
For sure.
It'd be like that though, for real, because like Instagram is just like Facebook or even on Twitter and stuff like that. You get bots in your inbox, and you're like,
yeah,
how do you people find me? Like what? Who has the time to be a fake profile and message somebody? Like who has time to do that?
Yeah, because honestly, even when April Klein, our last interview, even when she mentioned you, I was gonna find you. I was gonna hunt you down and say, "Hey, dude, we're not
Hey man,
bots."
shout out to her for even mentioning me, man. Like I've been going up there to Advantage Mixed Martial Arts a lot this fight camp. So shout out to those guys. But I've known those guys, Rick and Jeremy and Derek and all those guys and
Yeah,
girls for years, man. Like they even come down here every once in a blue moon. And now I've known those guys for at least 6, 7 years. And when COVID hit, I didn't get to go up there and train as often as I wanted to. And I told myself, man, I'm going back to a little bit of my roots and be surrounded by some of the homies this fight camp. And all the guys that I've been training with or been around are either the body type of my opponent coming up or the same height. So I've been using that to my advantage, and it's been wonderful, especially with those guys up there at Advantage. They're fast and their skill level is super high. And like I said, everyone that I've been training around this fight camp has helped me tremendously, man, and I thank everybody for that.
you guys, we got Brian Maxwell in with us tonight. Awesome fighter, man, a great mixed martial artist fighter. If you haven't already, please like us and share it please, on YouTube. If you haven't already, anybody watch right now, please go to YouTube and subscribe and hit that notification button. We need the numbers to hit 1,000, and that way we can start doing some cool stuff.
Hell yeah, that's what's up, man. That's always the goal, man, to get more and more views, man. That's one thing I like about self-promotion. Like in the beginning to middle to the end of my amateur mixed martial arts career, and even coming into the pros, I didn't believe in really promoting myself or putting my content and stuff out there, because I felt like like I said, I'm a wrestler. Everybody doesn't need to see me training, or I don't need to be taking fight pictures, or if people asking for pictures. I don't like that, because I've never been that person, because when I first stepped into this game, I did not like people. I didn't respect nobody in the MMA game at all, even some of the people that I trained with. And it's only because I only trained with them. I didn't know them like that. You feel what I'm saying? So,
right.
I didn't like me being from where I'm from. I didn't like meeting or being around or hanging around new people, because I wasn't used to that, because I was used to being around same people all the time. So, but I found that out very quickly when I had a year and a half layoff between not getting an amateur fight or making my pro debut, to step aside, learn the business a little bit, look into a couple things. And the world we live in today, it's self-promotion, man. You got to put yourself out there. You got to build your brand. You got to build everything. You got to put your content out there. You got to study, man. And I got a pretty hefty amount of followers now, more than I had before. But I kind of like it that way. Like everything, like as Tupac would say, all eyes on me. And I love that shit now. Like it's pretty cool. It can get out of hand sometime, but I like it, because it's letting people know who is Brian Maxwell. That's a slogan I started when the Chad Chad fight started coming out because everybody was asking, who is Brian Maxwell? Who is this guy? Where is he from? What has he done? This, that, and the third. So my hashtag, and I'm still going to use it till I'm done fighting. I'll probably even use it when my son starts fighting. Who is Brian Maxwell? You feel what I'm saying? Because I feel like I've built that and put something behind it. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. That's the thing. Like sometimes things like that fall into your lap, and then you just got to embrace it and run with it. And it can help define what you're doing and who you are in a different way than you maybe never would have before.
Mm-hmm.
And then, having the accolades of people checking in on you and see how you're doing and watching your career and stuff. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, just to be recognized for what you're doing and to have people checking in and, with social media and things like that, like it don't get any better than that,
Facts is something that I never thought that would happen because, I've always been known here on the local scene and, I've always traveled. Me and one of my buddies, one of my training partners, Antoine Curtis, we used to go to Nashville, Tennessee to train a lot and, networking with those guys and then networking in New York City with Sambo instructors and stuff like that, man. It helped me see a lot and it helped me see meeting new people because back to my story earlier, Anderson Silva was the first MMA fighter that I ever watched. And guess who I got to meet at one of my grappling matches at the MMA World Expo in New York City? I got to meet Anderson Silva and John Bones Jones in the same day. So that to me was like,
that's cool.
Tip top, man. And it was like felt like an accomplishment, even though I hadn't accomplished anything yet at that part of my career. And, that part of me, I also almost got into a fight with the World Series of Fighting 185 and 205 champion too, because I pissed him off because they asked me if I wanted his autograph or wanted to take a picture with him. And I told them I don't want to take a picture or have somebody's autograph that I want to fight and beat up and take his belts. That was just me being like that day, but it is what it is.
Well, watching the fight with Chad, like I said earlier, like around the fourth round, you looked to me like you were getting really comfortable. Like it looked like in the middle of the third, beginning of the fourth, you had gotten really comfortable. Is that true? Would you like to have taken it a few more rounds to let it play further out?
I mean, we could have went all that night, man. We could have ran 100 rounds that night. I was in the moment. I was seeking the opportunity that I got. I was enjoying it and enjoying the blessing that I got. You feel what I'm saying? And those first couple rounds, man, those were not necessarily my feelers rounds, but my rounds were to to see what he was about and to see how hard he had been training. And of course I'm a big Ochocinco fan, so I know how hard he had been training, and I know he had a boxing background. He just had never fought before, you feel what I'm saying? So those first two rounds were my seeing where he was at and kind of holding back like I said, to see what he was doing. But that third and fourth round, my coach got in my head. He finally let it rip because he was getting pissed off because he said he felt like I was playing around. So shout out to my coach Randy Witcher. He probably watching, but he's like, man, you can't let this football player do this to you. You playing too much, and let's not make this fucking football player make a mockery of you. And they kind of flipped my switch a little bit in the third round, so I start picking it up a little bit. And then, I know fourth round is when he really said something. My coach really said something to me, and I'm not going to say it got under my skin, but it lit a fire under my ass. And I was like, you know what, this fourth round, I'm going to really put it on him to see how he react. And that's what I done. Big shout out to Chad. I actually just talked to him yesterday, he texted me, happy Thanksgiving, not Thanksgiving, but happy Easter. And I told him, happy Easter too. Like my relationship with him is great. We talk all the time. So that's one of the greatest things I got from that fight. Like building a friendship and a bond with Chad Ochocinco Johnson.
So that was our next question, because me and Sammy, we watched the fight and we noticed that you were going to that fight. You looked like you were in great shape, and and it was very entertaining for us. And that's what our next question was going to be. What kind of relationship have you developed with Chad since the fight? So you guys stay in touch.
Yeah, we definitely stay in touch. And now the gym that I train at when I'm in Florida, Box Our Gym down there in Miami, you know, I've been telling them for a while, man, you need to go to that gym to train there. And now he's training there. He hit me up on his first day training there and was like, man, I finally went. And I told him I've been trying to tell you to go there, but you know, he trains at the gym that I train at when I'm in Florida. So, you know, when I get back to Florida, whenever I fight in Florida, or if I'm going to Florida for fights and stuff, or whatever meet and greets that I have lined up, because we're actually going to do a meet and greet together somewhere in Florida. We just got to get those details worked out. And,
Cool.
you know, we're going to go train at Box Our Gym, the best gym in Miami. So if you're in Miami, check out Box Our Gym.
Miami.
But
Well, you
man,
know,
like I was saying, me and Chad's relationship is great. Like I said, that is the best thing that I got out of the opportunity to fight him. Forget the money, forget the, you know, everything before it. Like building that friendship and brotherhood with him was like the biggest and best thing that I got, because like I said, it was my idol growing up. And
Yeah.
you know, I still watch that fight like at least 4 or 5 times a week anyways, to not necessarily, you know, hype myself up, but to look at the opportunity that I got, because, you know, I never thought that I would get a super huge opportunity like that, especially against fighting my idol.
Yep.
But at the same point in time, you know, I put on my social media some years ago that, you know, I would be fighting on a Floyd Mayweather fight card. And it just so happened, and it ended up being spoken into existence with that fight. And like I said, it's a huge blessing. And, you
Yeah.
know, I love everything that came behind it and the opportunities that I've gotten since that fight. You feel what I'm saying? So like I said, but my biggest and best thing from it is being able to talk to Chad, or the other celebrities that you know hit me up, like Cisco Rosano, Rasby from B2K. Yeah, B2K. He actually walked out with me to one of my fights, and you know, other celebrities that hit me up and ask me what I'm doing. Can I do a meet and greet here, or what's up, champ, or just checking in on me. So all that's just cool as shit in its own, because
Yeah.
being where I'm from, man,
Mhm.
not many people get opportunities like that. You got to get opportunities like that, you got to move away. And, you know, I stuck to my roots and kind of stayed home, man. And I got an opportunity. And my thing since I started fighting is, you know, I want to prove to anyone that will pay attention to me or pay attention to my name or see me, that just because I'm not from a big ass city or a super big gym. Y'all see my gym in the background. I've been in this gym since 2013. I'm not never going to leave this gym. I don't care how rich and famous I get. This is my
Yeah.
home. This is my roots. I'll never forget where I came from. You feel what I'm saying? And my thing has always been to prove people wrong. And now, since a lot of eyes are on me, they see that I'm from a small gym. I love Round 30 mixed martial arts. I got a lot of training partners here. We're also connected to, you know, Big Lick Boxing, which I love all the guys there too. You know, we're all men in here, and we have our ups and downs. And like I said, this is my roots. I've proved it that I'm from a small gym. I'm from a small place. You can still get noticed. You just gotta, just gotta work your hardest to get noticed. You feel what I'm saying?
well, and that's true. We've said that to a lot of like kids that are going into college that we've brought on. It's like, you know, the talent, you'll have eyes on you if you have the talent.
Mm-hmm.
They will find you. Like, you
They
know,
will.
this whole, you know, college football, you know, with the portal and NIL and all that stuff, like, you know, and it's going to get to the point where some of these kids are going to smaller colleges because the exposure is going to be the same. If
Yep.
you're talented, they will find you. It's just the way it is.
They will, man,
Um,
and that's a honor, because you know, when I was coming out of high school, my plan was I'm going to the military, be like some of the other, like some of my big cousins and family members, going to go to the military. But you know, these apparently I was doing better than I thought I was in high school wrestling, and these colleges were finding me. Even though I went to a smaller college because, that's how things fell. I could have went to a bigger school, but I also didn't want to sit out either. So I went to a smaller college up there in good old West Virginia, at West Virginia Tech, Golden Bears. So Golden Bear for life. And when the school was in Montgomery, I think it's in Beckley now. So, I got that opportunity. They found me. Like, I wasn't even looking at that school. I still, till this day, I have a bin that I kept all my college letters and recruitment letters, everything that I did then. I kept it just so I can go back and look at how this journey really started, because, in 10th grade, I had to try to figure out who I was, because I stayed in trouble at, all the time. I got kicked out of school a lot. And, my wrestling coach pulled me to the side one day, was like, look, if you keep fucking up, I'm gonna have to kick you off the wrestling team. And wrestling at that point in my life was it for me, because that's what I wanted to do. I rather wrestle than play football or run track. And like I said, my wrestling coach pulled me to the side and was like, if you don't kick it to gear, get your grades up, stop, basically fucking getting in trouble, I'm gonna have to kick you off the team. And after he told me that, man, I kicked it into gear. And I end up, as a sophomore, beating some state caliber and ranked guys, and actually ranked guys to go to states as a sophomore, which was awesome. And then after that, like, as soon as that wrestling season ended, that's when all the letters start pouring in. And like I'm telling you, I got like stacks and stacks of letters from colleges recruiting me still to this day, that I look at. And I tell people all the time, one reason also why I kept those, not to just to remember where I came from and how my journey started, but to use my resources with all those recruitment letters, to when it's time for my son to go to college, I can reach out to those places to try to get him in and see what he likes, so he can do his thing too and help him on his journey.
Well, one more question I really kind of wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
You know, with Jake and Logan Paul, a lot of people feel a lot of different ways about what they've been doing with boxing and the spectacle and events. What's your take on what that's actually done for the sport of boxing? What are your thoughts on how they've went about it and how they've achieved it and all of that?
I mean, my take on it is those guys came up with a smart ass game plan. They figured out a way to come in and disrupt a sport that, a lot of people felt that was dying, because, like I said, not like I said, but, Floyd had retired. And so, everybody thought boxing was dead, because Floyd is the biggest name in boxing. No matter if he's boxing or if he's just, chilling, living his best life. And the Paul brothers, they figured out a way to come in and disrupt it and bring in some numbers. And I told people, like, if I ever got a chance to fight one of them, I'm definitely taking it, not for the money, but for the opportunity and the experience, because those guys are smart. They're smart at what they're doing. Just like Logan, he was just on WWE, a WWE card last weekend or the weekend before.
Yeah.
Those guys are smart on promoting themselves and putting their name out there. They're two kids that came off the Disney Channel that have interrupted the sports world and are bringing in big numbers and taking their followers with them to put eyes on sports, on different things that they do, man, that, the ventures and everything that they're doing. And I actually got to meet both of them at my Chad fight. And, I put it out there after one of their fights that, like I said, I would fight either one of them. So if the opportunity came, I would definitely do it. Like I said, it's not for the money, but it's for the opportunity to fight somebody with a name way bigger than mine. But those guys, like I said, they're smart. They know how to make money. They know how to promote themselves, and they're doing good business. You feel what I'm saying? And that's one reason, that's one thing I picked up from them in the past almost year since my Chad fight. You got to promote yourself. You got to promote yourself. You got to disrupt. You got to be smart with business. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that's my take on them. Like I said, they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're social media stars, they're YouTubers. You can call them what you want, but they're smart and they're making a lot of fucking money.
Who wins, Brian? Rick wants to know who wins, Logan or Jake.
If they fought each other,
I'm assuming.
If they fought each other, I would go with Jake because he seems like he's
not as sloppy as it looks like. Logan's a little sloppier to me.
Yeah, it's like Jake takes it more seriously. You feel what I'm saying? And Logan, I mean, he takes it serious, but I feel like Jake takes it a little bit more serious. And he's another person like me. He wants to prove people wrong and prove people who his name is. Who his name is. You feel what I'm saying? Even though everybody knows his name, he wants to further prove that just because he's a YouTuber, he can do other shit too. You feel what I'm saying?
It'd be a funny fight watching those French fry headed guys, Island Boys.
That could be good wrestling right there, man. Because I'll tell you, if you watched, was it Jake that was on wrestling the other night? Like, he killed it in his spot, man. Like,
or Logan,
good. Or
Logan, yeah, he did his thing. I seen the highlights from that. I seen that on YouTube, and he did his thing. And I actually got offered probably like a month and a half ago. I think someone that knows the Island Boys or whoever they are, that asked me to jump on a podcast with them, and I just never got back to them because I'm not going to jump into somebody else's clout just because they got a big ass name like that, and plus I wasn't on that type of time, so I won't really rocking with that either.
You did the smart thing.
Well, that and you open yourself up to everywhere you go. Somebody look at you and go, Island Boy.
Oh.
Yeah, man. But for real though, it was kind of catchy. It was stuck in my head for a minute, but
right.
It's super catchy for sure.
But I'm glad that shit's gone now. So whatever.
Oh man.
Well, Brian, I want to give you a minute, man. Do give your shout outs.
Before we get to our quick 10 questions.
Friends, family, sponsors, whoever you want to shout out to.
Man, look, I got a long list of sponsors. I know some of y'all are watching, but I'll tag some of y'all later in this interview. Big shout out to all my sponsors. Shout out to everyone around me that's been around me this fight camp. I mean, everybody, from coworkers, the family, the friends, training partners, sponsors hitting me up, everybody liking my posts. I thank y'all greatly, man. Like I said, I didn't believe in this stuff before, but now that I do, and I see the product and where it has got me into a place I never would be. My biggest shout out is to BKFC, because without BKFC, that's another part of my journey that I wouldn't have got to be a part of. So, we here, and shout out to everybody, man. Thank you guys for even having me, man. But I'm glad I reached out to y'all because, like I said, I got those roots there in West Virginia from where I went to school. And so it's greatly appreciated to finally get on with the podcast from a place that I got roots in.
Sure.
Well, we've got a few more questions. Towards the end of our interviews, we like to play like 10 questions,
Rapid
I'm
fire.
I'm with it. I want all the smoke.
Kind of rapid fire. You just be as long answered or short answered as you want to be.
Gotcha.
Go ahead, Tim. Start us off, buddy.
My turn. What does it mean for you, Brian, to be a fighter?
Man, it means everything. I feel like this is my life purpose to be a fighter. I feel like this is why I was created, because like I said, even as a kid, I like contact sports. Like I feel like, even though I played around with this sport in the beginning and then got serious to where I'm at now, this is my purpose, man. It's basically showing people the person with no name or the little guy can do something, man. And that's, like I said, that's everything to me. Like, and what makes it the most important is I'm someone that my son looks up to. He wants to do everything that I do. You feel what I'm saying? So
yeah, that's
cool. I don't want him to be a fighter, but I did want him to be a wrestler. I made sure he was going to be a wrestler. I don't care if people think that that's me trying to live through him. No, I've done what I did with wrestling. I still wrestle to this day, but I'm making sure that my son wrestles just for the simple fact that, I tell people this all the time. Wrestling changed my life. Wrestling made me who I am. It made me the athlete that I am too, because, without wrestling, I'd probably be like, some of my friends either dead, in jail, or still in these streets. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm happy that wrestling and fighting got me away from that. And, I'm not knocking anybody that's in the streets. I love all my peoples, whether they're in the streets or doing whatever they're doing. I love them to the fullest. But, I'm happy that fighting changed my life and got me to where I'm at this exact point.
Yeah, it's good to have that outlet.
What I do here? Hold on one second.
You hit Rick's question. Well, might as well get to that one.
Yeah. Hey, Rick, I can't tell nobody till my fight poster drops. I can't do that. You know better than I do.
and then Mark Fain Jr. says, "How hard did Chad hit?"
I mean, he's an all-world athlete. You got to take a hit to get a hit, and he has power. It wasn't enough power to knock me out or anything, but he has power. He's an athlete. He works out and in the gym every day just like I am, and like he's got power. If you can see some of the photos, he hit me with some good shit. You feel what I'm saying? And I hit him with some good shit. It's just my good shit dropped him. You feel what I'm saying? And that's no disrespect at all. That's my boy. That's my guy. And it's wonderful. I see your comment, Rick. Yes, you can try, but you know better than I know. I know I can't drop the name until the fight poster is dropped.
Now, when it comes to MMA, what's your favorite submission?
Don't say rear naked choke.
No, a rear naked choke is probably my least favorite thing about MMA, just for the simple fact that it was the first submission that I ever got beat with. I mean, I'll use it if I have to, but with all my other tools in my tool belt from jiu-jitsu, my favorite thing is the Kimura. I figured out how to do a Kimura from almost anywhere, standing on my back, on top of someone, side control, full mount, anywhere. I like I said, when I first started learning jiu-jitsu, shout out to my coach, Enrique Rigney, for his help, and shout out to my guys down at Hybrid Mixed Martial Arts. I wanted to go into this full blast, like in anything I do. You feel what I'm saying? So, my favorite thing is the Kimura. That's my favorite move. I learned, like I said, I've learned how to get it from anywhere. I don't care where I'm at. I can find it.
Rick came in and says, all right, I just want to hear a story again. Last question from him. You get them knees up, player?
Yeah, man. We had this running joke from some years ago. Me and a guy I used to train with, we had a little beef. I think we still got a little beef till this day, but I don't care about it. I've moved on from it. But the running joke was, pick your knees up, player, because I had a Muay Thai fight, and what had happened in that Muay Thai fight was they said it was an illegal knee. I kneed a guy through the ropes. And yeah, so that's where that pick your knees up player thing came from.
That's cool. And my question, I kind of revert to a fourth grader when I asked this, but what is it like to punch someone in the face?
Yeah, it's glorious. It's like it's a different feeling, man. You can do it and not get in trouble. Because doing it before, like as a kid and stuff, I got in trouble. I punched people in the face as a kid in school and get kicked out of school and get my ass beat when I got home. Now I can do it for money and not get in trouble, and it still has the effect, win, lose, or draw. You feel what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I love punching people in the face, whether it's in MMA, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, or bare knuckle. Punching somebody in the face is glorious. That might sound crazy, but I love doing it. Like I said, this is part of my journey, and I love doing it.
That's the first thing April said when we asked her the same thing. You could do it and get away with it.
Facts, legally at that. Even though you got to sign a bunch of stuff and
right,
do what you got to do, man. It's fun. It's legal. It's sanctioned, and you don't get in trouble. So I love it. It's the whoever invented it and done all this shit. Yeah, I love you to death, because being able to beat somebody's ass without getting in trouble It's great.
I'm pretty sure it was the rednecks.
Oh man.
And then the Brazilian rednecks came along and made it a little more classy.
Yeah.
Who's your biggest inspiration?
My biggest inspiration is my mom, because one, without my mom, I wouldn't be here. Two, when I was a kid, I watched my mom struggle a lot. I didn't grow up with a lot of things that I wanted. You know, I eventually got it, but I didn't grow up, like I said, with getting the things that I wanted right then and there. I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. You know, my mom always taught me, in order to get something, you got to work for it and go get it. My stepdad also instilled that into me too, because, you know, I worked with my stepdad a lot when him and my mom got together, and, you know, they showed me, if you want, you gotta go be a go-getter. And that's what strives me to do everything. Like I said, my mom is my biggest inspiration, because when it was just me and her, she still worked 2 jobs to support me and her. And then when my brother came, she was still working 2 or 3 jobs to support us when it was just me, her, and my brother. And, you know, that in itself was a struggle, because, like I said, I didn't live in the best of neighborhoods. And, you know, I was at the bottom, but we moved. I'm not gonna say we moved a lot, but we moved in the areas of, like I said, not the best neighborhoods, but I'm happy to be from those places. I'd never forget my people or forget where I came from. I still venture to those places to this day, because that's where my people are at. I love my people and my family. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, like I said, before I tear up a little bit, my mom is my biggest inspiration. You feel what I'm saying? So that's my thing, and
a
I
great
love
inspiration to have too.
Yes, sir.
Definitely.
Now, what fighter do you model yourself after, you think, the most?
What fighter do I model myself after?
Yeah.
I say it's a mix of 3 people. Rashad Evans, Anderson Silva, and damn it. Fuck. I always forget his name. One of my favorite fighters, and I just literally Rampage Jackson.
Okay.
I say I'm all 3 of those guys put into one person, because any given time you never know which part of me you're gonna get. You know, earlier in my amateur career, a lot of people said I moved around like you know, Rashad Evans, but with my style and the way I used to play around and finesse, I moved like Anderson Silva. But me going into beast mode and slamming people and doing what I do, you know, putting people on their backs and stuff, I was a Rampage Jackson, because once I take people down, I give 0 fucks when I did that. And, you know, I'm sitting there beating my chest and howling and shit. So that's cool in its own. So, but yeah, I'm all 3 of those guys into one. But also I feel like I have the same, my mentality is like Kimbo Slices. That's my top 3 favorite fighters of all time. You know, I got to meet him before he died and built a relationship with him. And you know, I feel like I got some of his style inside me too, because, you know, the zero fucks given style, the, you know, brawl to you fall style, the want to put pressure on people and talk shit to them while inside a cage or a ring is my shit.
Let's see. Well, of course he would, Mark. Of course he would.
Would I get in the ring with Brock Lesnar? I mean, you know, if the opportunity came, of course, I'm an opportunist. I'm a go-getter. If the opportunity came, I would do it. You know, Brock Lesnar is a big-ass dude. I actually stood beside him one time, and he's a whole lot bigger than I thought he was.
Yeah.
And
Heavyweight.
But at the same point in time, like, if the opportunity came, I would do it. He's a man just like me, so I would do it.
And this question, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. You got it.
I'm just real quick from Joey Foster. I know you would prefer not to be hit, but where are you stronger, in the head or the body? Where can you take the punches the best?
I think I could take my punches to the body better than I can take my head, I guess. But at the end of the day, I'm an athlete, and anything can happen at any point in time. So, but my thing is the body. Like, I mean, I guess you can't practice getting punched in the face and
Right.
building that, but I train and practice getting hit in the body a lot. So when I get hit in the body in a fight, I can brush that shit off and keep it moving.
Yeah.
What would your dream fight be?
I can't really say my dream fight just happened, but my dream fight would be to fight Anderson and the Spider Silva. That would be my dream fight. And through the grapevine, I feel like that fight is going to be spoken into existence just to drop a teaser at some point because me and my coach have been talking about it, and a lot of things have been hinting towards it. So yeah, if that happens, I would love to do it. He's my number one favorite fighter, and that opportunity would be great. But that would be my dream fight, was to fight against Anderson, the Spider Silva.
Heck yeah. All right, is it my turn yet?
Yeah,
I guess it is.
turn.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I lost my place there on our repertoire. If what advice, Brian, would you have for those who want to take up MMA type sports?
My advice would be to, find a good gym, whether it be a big gym or a small hole in the wall gym. Get in the gym, train hard, never give up. It's gonna be tough at first, but they say it takes 21 days to start a new habit and to create a routine. And those 21 days are your make or break period. So,
Right.
you make it past those 21 days, you're in there. You feel what I'm saying? So it's still gonna be hard, but my advice is, is to get into a gym, stick with it, grind your ass off. And, if you want to make this something you can either make this something you do for fun or something you can do as a career, or you can do it for fun and then make it a career like I did. Because like I said earlier, when I first started this journey, I done it to dabble and play around with it to see what I could do. But like I said, I learned that very quickly that I couldn't. But once I started winning those titles and people start knowing who I was, that's when I decided that, hey, maybe I can make a career out of this. And like I said, here we are now.
What's it like training for a fight? How long does it take you to get to be fight ready?
Of course, I'm in the gym every day. Not every day, but 5 to 6 days a week. But when I'm in fight camp, I'm in the gym 6 to 7 days a week. No breaks needed. But I usually need 6 to 8 weeks to prepare. Of course, I got to cut weight because when I'm not getting ready for a fight, I'm a big feller. So when it's time to get ready for a fight, I have to change everything that I do and drop my bad eating habits and hit the ground running and work that much harder. But preparation for a fight camp is hard, especially when you take this as seriously as I do. I feel like a lot of guys are better than me or whatever, have better records than me in combat sports, through all sports, but I feel like I work harder than most people think I do. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I've always been a grinder and a go-getter, like I said, but I feel like I work hard. And like I said, the end results of next weekend's fight will show you how much harder I've been working and stepping it up a notch.
Shoot, after I would fight, man, I'd be like, where is that oatmeal cream pie?
Man, tell me about it.
I eat it.
Like after a fight, I'm telling you, like when I get back from Florida or wherever I'm coming from, like I go on a complete eating binge. Like I'm telling you, like I go on a binge. I eat takeout at least 3 or 4 times a day or something. Like I go crazy when I get back, just for the simple fact that I had to discipline myself for 6 to 8 weeks of not eating, little Debbie cakes, eating Moose Tracks ice cream, drinking sodas, and just eating a lot of stuff, a lot of pastas and breaded foods. And I'm telling you, when I get back, I just go ham. Literally.
All right, Brian. Okay, true or false? Jorge Masvidal put your name out there as an opponent for Chad Johnson.
True, but but I don't even know how he got my name. I'm actually trying to fight on. I'm actually trying to fight on one of his shows, like either the Game
Okay.
Bred FC Bare Knuckle, or he's got a show coming here to my home state of Virginia, the Icon Fight Series, I think. And I'm actually trying to fight for him just for the opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. You do. Let
But
us know.
hell yeah, but that's definitely true. Like I said, I got the word from that, hearing from some interviews that he mentioned my name. I'm like, how the fuck does he even know who I am? Like, I fight for bare knuckle, and I'm not even from the Florida area. But like I said earlier, you got to take opportunity to get opportunity.
Yeah. You let us.
Well,
if that happens, you let us know.
Well,
Yes,
it's
sir.
pretty,
Bet I got
it's
you.
pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome that your name's on somebody's lips and you don't even know how it got there. You know what I mean? Like that means he's heard about you, watched you, seen you, and saw something that he's like, hey, this guy needs to come do this. Like that's I think that's like an awesome compliment.
Yeah, like I still don't, like I said, I still do not know how my name even came up into the conversation, but I kind of figured it out a little bit, just because, for the simple fact that him and Chad are homies. But I guess when they went digging for an opponent for Chad to fight, I guess my name came up. I don't know. I'm still trying to bring all that together till this day, and it's been almost a year since that fight, or since I even found out about it. And like I said, like, oh no, this opportunity over here created this opportunity over here. So I'm with it. Well,
Chad, I found you a real fighter, Chad. I don't know why I just sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger just now, but
fuck it.
And the last question that we've got for you tonight: talk to the kids that might be watching this, and talk to them about adversity and overcoming obstacles.
Man, I love that subject. That's like the best thing ever to talk about, like adversity, life, and
Yep.
all that stuff, man. Man, look, any kid that's watching, I tell my son this to this day, but with my son, it goes in this ear, it comes out this ear. So,
Right.
but I still tell him that you're gonna thank me one day, and actually everything that I told you is actually true because I lived it. You know what I'm saying? But I would tell any kid, even the kids in the wrestling program here at my gym, whenever I get to talk to them on the side when they're having a bad day and wanting to quit wrestling and don't want to be at practice anymore, I tell them, look, you're going to have a bad day. Sometimes you're the hammer and sometimes the nail. Today you're the nail. You got beat up a little bit, and don't quit, because tomorrow you can be the hammer, and that kid across the gym right there could be your nail. You're going to beat the crap out of him tomorrow, or y'all might have an even practice, but never give up. I'm a big, 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 big believer of never giving up, because I tell people, I could have gave up when I took my first loss in the MMA. Like I said, I was playing with this sport. I could have gave up then, but I wanted more, because I'm a sore loser when it comes to losing. I get mad, I throw shit, and now I've kind of broken out of that now, since I've humbled myself and be around the people that I'm around that talk to me and have humbled me throughout the years with my coaches and stuff. But I love adversity, because sometimes adversity makes you a stronger and better person. And if you can overcome adversity, doesn't matter where you're from or what you do or whether you don't think you can do it, face that adversity. Like one of my coaches tells me, when life throws lemons at you, you got to step on those motherfuckers and throw them back.
No lemonade, just throw them back.
Yeah, you got to throw them motherfuckers back, man.
I love that.
That's
But
funny,
man,
dude.
but at the end goal, never give up, dream big. You can do anything you can set your mind to. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yep.
anything you want to do in life, as long as you set that goal to wanting to do it and being able to do it, and seeking the opportunities to do it, you got to go get it. You got to not sit on your butt. You got to actually go get it and work hard to go get it, and don't expect nobody to give it to you.
Nope.
That's good advice. I mean, that's something that we're hoping to accomplish with 304 is, help kids, give kids something to listen to, like from people that's doing things that they can actually take some advice from and listen to what they're saying. Because, like you said, you can tell your son, you can talk to your son until you're blue in the face. If he don't listen, he don't listen. And,
Facts.
I think, a lot of kids, will see, professional athletes and things like that. And if they could just get that kind of advice coming from that angle, maybe they'll take it a little bit. And that's something we're hoping to accomplish is, help build better leaders for kids going into college, from high school into college and college on into the next level. So,
Yes, sir. The transition between, I'm gonna tell you firsthand, the transition from high school to college was totally different. It wasn't like I thought it would be because, being a high school kid, of course, when you're a junior or senior in high school, you're finding out what parties are. You go to college campuses, going to party, but you don't know the experience of going from high school to college until you do it. And it was definitely different. And, I would never change that for in the world. It's kind of like being a middle schooler going to high school. That's what college transitioning from high school to college was. It's different. You're restarting your life all over again, finding who you are.
Yeah, for sure. And for that question from Miss Gail Patricia, honey, go back, I think, to probably the 58-minute mark, and I think you should be able to. He answered that question there, so you can go back there and listen to that if you want to.
Which question? I mean, I can answer it again.
It was just basically like, what is one piece of positive news that you would tell anyone wanting to become an MMA fighter?
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah,
that's. I can answer that again. But anybody wants to be an MMA fighter or a bare knuckle fighter or a boxer or in combat sports in general, just go to a gym, work your ass off, and do what you got to do. You can either do it as a hobby or do it as a profession or both.
Yeah, April wants us to get into the gym. She's going to try to get us 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and then make us go work out. Like, thanks, Sammy.
I put it out there. That's what happens. Well, guys, we're over an hour. I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. I want to say thank you, Mr. Brian Maxwell, for coming on and talking to us about his experiences.
Thank you guys for having me, man. Let's after I get this win next weekend,
okay,
let's get back up.
Okay.
Yep, we'll do it again.
Like I told you, I don't usually talk shit before fights, but I'm talking shit for this fight, and I'm guaranteeing a win next weekend.
I'd like to get you both on once the card's set or the promos out there. Get you both on.
I don't think my opponent wants that. Like I said, this fight camp has been super emotional for me and fueled by a lot of things, and I don't want to see or hear nothing from my opponent till weigh-ins.
Well, thank you for coming on, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. This is the 304 podcast live here on Facebook and on YouTube. We appreciate everybody who supports us, guys. We're looking to keep this thing going. We've got some other guests lined up coming up in the future, guys. Be on the lookout for that. We'll post our little pretty posters we make when we have our next one lined up. But everybody, I'm Sam the Man. This is Tim. This is Mr. Red Rims himself. Everybody have a good night.
We'll see you when we see you, guys. Thank you, brother.